Hello and welcome, Madden fans. We are here and we are live. The Rally Cry HBCU Madden Collegiate Series starts right now. We are, of course, presented by the Army National Guard. I'm FBI Tubbutt. I'm here with my man, Novanta. Novanta, how are we feeling on the day?
I'm so glad to be back here with you. Took a week last week to go to the virtual Pro Bowl games you haven't seen or heard about. I just made them up right there, but we're here live for another week of Madden action.
Absolutely, absolutely. National Championship Qualifier 2 starts right now. We got, obviously, we are here doing it online, but we got these players on the site on the day here in Orlando, Florida, ready to take it, do battle on the virtual Madden field. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely love it too. We have a bracket here of 8 teams. Are going to be some of them are going to be featured today, but definitely everyone is getting themselves locked in, getting themselves rocked and ready because there are a lot of things online. Yeah, there's bragging rights. Yeah, there's being the best player in the lobby, but we got some cold prizes as well. So you know what I mean. It's all about that respect.
Absolutely. Cash and an opportunity to go to the NFL draft over there in Detroit, Michigan, coming up here in a couple of months. We have a lot of cash being given away here for the Rally Cry Collegiate Series presented by that Army National Guard. As you see, the FTC getting a lot of love right there. Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, and Tekken all having multi-$1,000 prize pools there. Little CS2 action and Rocket League, $8,000, $6,000 respectively. Still $5,000, $5,000 being given away. That's just for playing a little bit of Madden here, Navanta.
And if Eddie Gordo was available in all these games, you could win all these prizes at once. No, I'm just absolutely kidding. But we're focusing on the Madden Challenge College Championship because $5,000 will get you a lot of DLC there when it's all said and done. So, we have everyone ready to go. I know you're ready to go. I know I'm ready to go. But the number one question is, who is going to be on stream today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking a look at Neighbor and Jordooo. And Jordooo, we'll be skipping around this bracket a lot here on the day. Just an 8-person bracket. We'll be doing 3 different matches. One in the was the quarterfinals, one in the semis, and of course that grand finals. Now, Devonta, top 2 players, regardless of winner or loser, top 2 players both going to be punching their ticket to the qualifier overall. This being qualifier number 2, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, but doesn't mean it's time to be a little bit slack. You can't sleep. You got to make sure you have that extra statement win. And our first matchup you saw in that last graphic is going to be Buffalo Bills against Buffalo Bills, a very strong team going in a mirror match situation. So, whoever's on top definitely is going to deserve it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that matchup is really going to be dependent on Josh Allen, and Josh Allen all the way through. Right, the man's got some wheels. He can get some runs in there. Yeah, exactly right. He can get some runs in there and still get the ball out to Dawson Knox, and obviously he's got some star receivers as well. But before we hop on into kind of like the breakdown a little bit of this Bills versus Bills squad, a matchup you only see within Madden, of course, right? I want to talk a little bit about the organization that makes this possible. That is, of course, the Army National Guard. Now, soldiers in the Army National Guard show up for their community, their state, and their country when they are needed most. Navanta, they are civilians and soldiers because Guard service is, of course, part-time. A lot of the soldiers in the Guard, they can work full-time, they go to school, and they fulfill their training. It's just a minimum of 1 weekend a month with their job-specific annual trainings. Now, they are the military's first responders, and the Guard is activated to support when disaster strikes there at home.
Yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, that doesn't sound like me, but it can be. See, soldiers in the Guard may qualify to receive education benefits from the state and federal tuition assistance programs. So if you're thinking about furthering your education, the National Guard may be a path for that. And soldiers in the Guard have the opportunity to gain transferable skills and leadership qualities out into the workplace or classroom while pursuing a full-time job or going to school full-time. So you don't have to do one or the other. You can have it all when you're a part of the National Guard family.
Seriously, and I mean, with multiple organizations within getting involved in esports, it's hard to look around and not see what various armed service branch is doing within the industry of esports. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Talk a little bit more about these competitors on the day. Here we go. We are getting caught from our production staff. Big shout out to our production staff. Jordooo switching on over to the Chiefs. So we're going to see what could have been, Novanta, what could have been in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow, that puts a whole new wrinkle on things since we know the mirror match, all about that. But Jordooo, the Chiefs, the team we saw pretty much heavily 2 weeks ago, the last time we were on stream, so that adds a whole new wrinkle to things. But I know how you feel about the Super Bowl, but let's get into this one here as we roll on.
Yeah, so Bill's gonna be shown in this, the Rally Cry Super Bowl. That's what we'll call it. We'll give it to them, the Bills here eventually. They've been trying for a while. Now let's get to kickoff. Tyler Bass with a booming kick to the right corner. That's going to be about middle of the end zone. Mecole Hardman's not going to take this one out. Neighbor on the left, Jordooo on the right, folks.
Interesting choice here. We're going to a neutral site, giving no one the home field advantage here. We'll see how those accelerators are going to be in play, especially the team-based ones, if you don't have access to the home fans.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that has been incorporated within Madden 24, of course. Well, we saw the Arrowhead buff. Then it was like when the stadium gets loud, it is more likely players not at home, they're in Arrowhead, to make mistakes. We are, of course, over there with the Commanders over there in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting choice. I mean, it's definitely a different conference altogether, and I haven't seen so many fans at a Commanders game in forever. So let's, let's
that's, that's entirely fair. That's funny. Flag coming on in here. A little bit of misplay on the delay of game. Members on the offense, it seems, just kind of trying to figure this one out a little bit more so. Take a little bit extra time, figure this one out. This is on the 25, so that flag was not accepted, it seems.
Yeah, I didn't see the subject at all. But let's go back to the main storyline. Having the change in the team is great for us because as commentators, we have different defenses and offenses to think about. But you wonder whether or not it's going to be an advantage for Jordooo. And that was already caught there by Jordooo. Speed of the devil.
Yeah, the bullet right there. Mecole Hardman picks up the first. Mahomes gets this one out. We see Rashee Rice and Kelsey on the slight slant post out there across the body. If I was an NFL commentator, I'd be freaking out right now that Patrick Mahomes does what he does every single day because he threw it across the body.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chiefs are just a great team. I mean, that sounds to be like a kind of an understatement there, but they're able to drive so much yardage right out of the gate. It's going to be a rough night for Neighbor if nothing changes.
It's going to be only Pacheco back right now as Mahomes calls audibles all over the place, like they're making music or something. A quick throw. Rashee Rice gonna be able to get this one out. Bullet fast, right on the money.
Yeah, this is what makes Madden such a different interpretation to the NFL. I would have run the ball there because there was a whole other side that was pretty much unchecked or unmarked. But again, if your team has a hot hand and sticky fingers, why not double down so it doesn't work? And that didn't work at all for Mahomes. Wow.
4 attempted passes in a row. First three made. This one broken up. No tackle for loss, of course. Mahomes was able to get this one out. A mega stacked offense here on the middle, then preferring the right side. That's going to be Kelsey. Out is Scantling. Only Mecole Hardman out. One is the loneliest number. Right to the middle up the slant on the inside. That's not going to be enough for the defense to knock this one out. I'm amazed he was able to hold on to that one.
You know, that was a big question I had. We had those first early plays. I said, well, hopefully the defense of Buffalo will get into gear. But 2 plays back to back, it didn't go the way Kansas City wanted. That says that that window is now closed. So what does the Chief have up their sleeve that needs to be seen?
Be seen indeed. Mahomes back in the gun. Pacheco on the right side. No protect the president situation. And that's going to be 2 of them just swallowing up Mahomes and eating him alive. That's the second play in a row. No real advantage here for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, it's the first time they're really being challenged there. Now they have some decisions they got to make. 2nd and 10. I would go for something of a running play, but I've been wrong plenty of times the first quarter when it comes to this tournament.
That's fair. That's fair. Pacheco, a lethal weapon indeed for the Chiefs. Something we'll see tomorrow as well. But no run plays so far. All passes all the time. And all Patrick Mahomes on the ground. That is 3 times in a row here. Eventually, you'd assume that the writing is going to be on the wall here in Avanta.
Yeah, that was an instance of all guts and no glory, right? Ran into a brick wall, and already it looks like the fortune's starting to change for them. Not in a good way.
Take a gamble like that, you're going to have some kind of payoff. That's 3 in a row right now as Mahomes steps back into the pocket, out to the corner. That is a diving attempt there for Kelsey, but the big man not going to be able to bring this one in, even if his girlfriend is on the side.
I was about to roll my eyes and say, I can't believe they got bailed out of such a display, but they didn't. And that's what really happens. You have so much opportunities to move the chains. You got to take small victories when you can, because a lot of times those big paydirt plays won't work out for you.
8 pass plays in a row there for the Kansas City Chiefs. The chapter was read there from Buffalo. They liked the book, checked it out from the library, and figured this out and shut down everything after that. Because technically the pass did get out to Kelsey on the very last, but with the pressure and whatnot, and this one thrown off center, that was enough for the incompletion. 3 on the board will be the reward for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, that can't be understated enough. I mean, we knew what the first matchup was going to be team-wise about an hour before we went live. And when you have an opponent switch up, you go, oh my gosh, how could I prepare for that? So already, Buffalo's playing with house money. I mean that figuratively because they're all college students. But they found a way to say, okay, how can we find a way to stop Kansas City? They did in the first drive. Now it's time for them to really make it say, doesn't matter who our opponent is, we're going to walk away with the dub.
Number 3 here for Kansas City, and that's going to be fantastic for James Cook. Nice juke right there. Little spin action, and that's going to be a rush for like 9.9 yards. This says inches. I don't believe it.
Yeah, you know what's funny about the juke moves and spin moves, though? A lot of times people get hesitant because they're worried about dropping the ball early, but that was perfectly timed in place, enough to give you confidence to try it again soon.
It's Cook number 2. Second attempt going to be not quite as good as the first, but that is going to be enough for the first down. Keep those guys on the sideline. That's what I keep saying, man. Those guys on the sideline with the chains, they just don't move enough. You know what I'm saying? Just don't move. Buffalo keeps these ones moving. Keeps these guys' heart rate elevated.
You know,
oh my goodness. The shimmy shake from Shakir right here. Nicely done for another first down. Move them chains, guys.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get ourselves an issue of having two different interpretations of how to play the game because you haven't seen one play out of the shotgun, and so far the running plays have gotten nothing but positive yardage.
Yeah, James Cook, seriously, like, this is the difference in the running game that has already been established. We talk about it all the time, right? Once the running game is established, there is a significant threat that has been posed, like, we can do this. What are you going to do to shut this down? We've only seen we've only seen one pass play so far for the Bills. That was, of course, a short slant out to the left side. Now 3rd and 1. Talk about writing on the wall. This doesn't go to Cook. Color me surprised. No, there you go. Get this one out to Gabe Davis. 2 for 2 on 31 yards.
Yeah, so right down in my notes, this has a whole different strategy. 3rd and 1 in the shotgun, going the other direction. Well, it works out for them great, but they had so many different options, and now they're paying for it. Maybe a little bit too overzealous with their aggressive offensive play. That right there is down for a loss.
That's entirely fair. I was talking about getting Josh Allen involved with those wheels. The man can move. A bullet! Shakir takes it. Shakir, the absolute star of this game so far, Novanto.
Well, it would look like I thread the needle, but that needle was pretty huge. It was really much just miles away from the nearest coverage. Of course, I was going to catch that all day.
Yeah, thread the lance, thread the spear right there because that was anything but. Josh Allen getting all the way in. Now, pass off to James Cook. Barely gets touched on the way inside, and that's 6 on the board here for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills not being paid by the hour, just trying to go as fast as they can and run the score as they can. I really like their offensive attack. It looks a lot more in depth, but it's only a 63 ball game in the first quarter.
Yep. So these are going to be, your mildly accelerated games, right? 5-minute quarters. Here comes the PAT. Tyler Bass stays perfect on that one.
Hey, you know what? Right down the middle is point of a touchdown. Don't try to rock the boat. Don't try to be too fancy, and definitely don't go for a fake field goal in the first quarter.
No, we should not. No, we should not. Hey, that'd be good for the fans. Be good for the stream and whatnot, right? We'll get to go crazy here, but nah, none of that. None of that. Mecole Hardman right on the -1 yard line, something like that. Wisely decides otherwise. This is the NFL. This is the kickoff rules. The statement has been made, right? If not directly from the NFL, they do not want people taking kickoffs. They do not want it.
Well, far be for me to mention another brand name, but imagine if there was XFL rules with touchdowns. We have to go
yes.
for 1, 2, or 3 after. Yikes.
Yes, personally love the USFL rules where the extra point is possible, but the 2 and 3 if you're behind at the end of the first or second half, then that's a different story. Absolutely love it. Very excited for the UFL. I will do it. I'll take the licks if we're not supposed to talk about it. 5 and 9 right now. Mecole Hardman Jr. 4 receptions, 68. So both of these teams so far really developing a theme. For the Kansas City Chiefs, that is throw the ball, and get it out to really Mecole Hardman Jr. so far.
You can send all the hate mail to FBI_tugboat on social media. But yeah, throwing the ball into quadruple coverage isn't the smartest idea, but you can't knock something that was a completion, right? So Kansas City gets a little bit of a bailout there, to say the least. And I would advise not making that a habit.
Yeah, Mahomes again got the wheels. He can get it done. Screen pass. Kelsey there gets almost gets past one. Second one gets on top as Kelsey going to be taking his first reception of the day here in the second quarter. Back in the gun, Isaiah Pacheco just sitting there like, man, I'm a good at running back. I'm a good at running back, and he gives it to him. There's a big run up to the right side. First down plus a little bit more, Navanta.
Oh, the fork in the road was there, and it was huge. What just happened? That was a defensive miscue from Buffalo, giving so much room to Kansas City when pressure needs to be applied.
There was a fork in the roads, and I took the road frequently traveled or less traveled, given that Kansas City has not run the ball whatsoever so far. First run right there, Rashee Rice to the corner, gets past one, takes a couple of defenders to actually get this man down. 7-11, Patrick Mahomes never closes.
It's such a weird helter-skelter way that Kansas City's approaching this one. I'm entertained to say the least. It's almost like what's going to happen next. I can't even call it. Pat Mahomes is getting bailed out by his team time and time again.
That's fair. That's fair. The pressure is there from the Buffalo Bills, but able to either wheel this one out or, again, just throw it across the body, as has become Patrick Mahomes' signature. Nothing. Barely gets the ball out and avoids the sack.
Yeah, I was going to give a little bit of praise for Pat Mahomes' X factor, that vision. You see those dead-eye passes, but what good's a dead-eye pass if you can't unhinge? That was just a unfortunate time to salt there for Patrick Mahomes and company.
Yeah, a quarter second early might have been able to get this ball out. Whether it was accurate or not is a different story, but slants upon slants here for the receivers at least shown. Audibles on audibles as well. Mostly players here opting to, just completely skip that huddle type situation. Pacheco out to the right side with a little bit of help. And that's going to be 8 for 13 on 105 right now for Jordooo's Mahomes.
Yeah, you got yourself in the second. Kansas City is still looking for their first touchdown. And I do think the possibilities here are endless because there's a lot of time to get one off and he has to throw it away there. That's unfortunate. I thought I had the vision of a touchdown happening with that long bomb of a pass.
Yeah, I thought R1 might have been open, but would have had to move a little bit farther to the right. Nothing doing right now. One of the first incompletions here, and definitely the first ball that's actually thrown out. Not been pressured too hard. Now, a man to the right, got a man to the left, sends Mecole Hardman a running. Pacheco right up the middle. Why would you? Yeah, there you go. Establish the run. Again, it's about establishing this as a threat, right? Instead of just throwing the ball always in defense, knowing that ball is getting into the air.
Well, the defense out of pocket, but had a little bit of that wherewithal to get a couple more yards when those yards were pretty much not even on the table. Really good run that time.
Especially yards after contact, right? We talk about that one all the time. Pacheco, if he fell right where he got touched, he'd be sitting on the line of scrimmage. Instead, we're looking at 3rd and 7, a much more comfortable type situation. 4th and 1, now it's decision time. No decision whatsoever for Jordooo, sorry.
Unfortunately there, I thought that was going to be crossing the line, but it says no, we'll do it again.
11 up right here. If I'm this squad, I maybe put Pacheco ahead of me and just run it as Mahomes or hand it right off to Pacheco, let Gray and Kelsey do what they do. Nope, it's another pass play right across the middle, out of reach and nothing. A turnover on downs late as the gamble for Kansas City does not pay its dividends.
Yeah, I see the offensive coordinator shaking their head. I understand lull your opponent to a false insecurity, do something dynamic, but at 4th and 1, you might as well just walk over the line, crawl over the line, roll yourselves over the line.
Yeah, I gotta agree. James Cook is tout for 10. The rushing game has been established for one of these squads and is paying off absolute dividends here. 7-3 for the Buffalo Bills. 2-minute drill for Josh Allen and his receiving core as they're going to try and roll on down this field.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to really pick this one because I thought if I had to guess, it would be a higher scoring affair. But the elements that we're seeing here is really the explosive offense of Buffalo when they know what they're doing. And that snap defense, flash of brilliance from Kansas City is on display. But we're getting a low scoring affair. And unfortunately, Allen's going to throw that one away.
The first incompletion there for the Josh Allen, controlled by Neighbor, of course, as they look to continue to march down this field. That's James Cook fighting protection. Right to left right now as audibles come in. Josh Allen, and they got this heavily stacked up left side. There's a corner with something. Josh Allen takes off, and man, if that was a step ahead, Josh Allen would be on the sidelines right now with a first down.
There's only one regret in life, and that is hesitation. You make the decision a second earlier. It would have been a 10-yard run.
You know what they say, stuff like that, you either make a decision or a decision is going to make you. James Cook takes the reception, gets out of the first down, plus a little bit more, Navanta.
Guess it makes my point moot getting the first down anyway. But again, it's a little bit quicker play there, and that'd be a lot more points at the table for Buffalo. His chance now for Allen around the side of the hook, and that is also no right down the middle.
Shakir the star. Shakir the star. 5 for 6 right now is Josh Allen. Almost perfect. Neighbor playing this one to a T, and perfect, I gotta say, perfectly mixing up their rush plays and the pass plays. Josh Allen mulling out to the right side, gonna throw this one into the dirt. Second completion for Neighbor.
I'm kind of confused there from the defensive understanding of Kansas City getting close, seeing the coverage, and kind of giving up. They kind of say, "Oh, I'm in the city. I'm in the vicinity. Let me chill out now," because that last passing play shouldn't have happened, and the one that would hit the ground was just a matter of timing more than anything else.
Ain't got time and you ain't got nothing here. The defense now breaking pocket, gets 2. Nice bomb. Shakir again continues this as the user did take over right there and influenced movement, so got away from defenders, picked up a little bit more yardage. Hey, if he just catches this ball, then it has defenders crashing, one from the left over the top, one from right under the bottom. This is not a ball that he was going to hold on to. Does a fantastic job of getting reception and getting away and securing this one for a big gain.
Nothing worse than having your ankles broken is seeing on the replay in slow motion. Jeepers.
Jeepers. Cook. Little shimmy shake action to try and get a little bit farther here. Goes for the no huddle, but timeout's definitely got to be on the mind of both of these coaches. Cook at the middle again. Yeah, call a timeout, do it again. There's no reason to do anything else here. Cook is getting yardage.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Almost like Cook is made of Teflon sometimes. How many yards have been picked up after contact, to your point? I mean, I do think that's the leader for this game in spades.
Audibles as Allen moves back into the gun right here. If we're talking about who's controlling this game thus far, I really do feel like this is the Bills. 3 seconds to go. Now it's decision time for the Buffalo Bills, or maybe it's the same look as the Jordooo. Maybe this isn't a decision at all, and they're going to go for it regardless.
I'm not sure if Neighbor is used to playing with injuries on, because he's being very conservative with Josh Allen. I was going to say, go up, it's making a scramble. Go ahead for it. Why not?
Up and in. We get a 7-point game here in Washington, D.C.
Well, you can't ask for anything more but a touchdown, I guess. Maybe I'm just being a little bit greedy there. That could have been an opportunity, but you get something on the board. You have the lead. You extend the lead right before halftime.
Be a kick, only one reception, or the, I mean, it might as well take this one out, right? No point in fair catching. No? Okay, so Kansas City, Nico Hardman, going to side against this one, going to get a single play for the Hail Mary. The way I look at it is you take this and just try and make it, right? Because you don't want to throw this ball and risk an interception here right before halftime. You know, pick 6 status.
I would say so, but here's a shotgun, so here's your answer.
Indeed, heavily loaded up left side.
What's
Kelsey
going on?
Rice, Scantling, everybody over there. It is 4 posts. It is Elam traveling forever. Now Hardman gets it. This is a fantastic pass. It would have happened at a time there was not 0-0-1 left in the quarter.
This is why Madden is the agent for chaos, because everyone wants to do that. Everybody wants that 70-yard
Yeah.
bomb in this 1 second in the first half. But hey, you know what? It ain't nothing if you don't go for it every once in a while.
Yeah, I feel that. Loved how Jordooo took this defender like all the way around, right? Like Elam right there, going all the way through the pocket, saying hi to his teammates on the way. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals here in this game so far. Neighbor's going to have the advantage now, receiving ball at the beginning of the second half.
Well, the question becomes, will it be more than the same? Unlike the right. That's not more of the same. That would come in, didn't you, Tugboat?
Wow. Okay, 16 free yards here for the Buffalo Bills. Given that, you know, you kick it all the way down, 25-yard line. This is much better scoring position than they ever should have started this drive on.
A golf slice. That had no business being as
Yeah.
far as it did.
Cook almost runs out the big man defender Jones right there, number 95. Another step ahead. You see a little bit more and positive yardage instead of losing a yard right here. Neighbor realizes this. That's Gabe Davis. Nicely done. Right across the middle for about 20 yards.
Yeah, I did see that the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of targeting Cook there with their defense, which is fine. That just opens it up for a lot more people with the passing game. I still wanted to see a bit more patience on the snap or more quickness in deciding to scramble from Allen and company. But you can't argue with the results.
That's what I was talking about. Stephon Diggs finally getting into the offensive playmaker position. It's going to be another 20 or so right there as Josh Allen and the Bills are knocking on the door.
As they should. I do think they'll look like the better team so far, even with the change of their opponent. But I got to say that sometimes you feel there's a lot of points being left on the table there.
Josh Allen's got the wheels. Will he take off? And a second earlier, oh, a fumble to the outside. So maybe this is what this neighbor player was a little bit more worried about. But you're right, man. Analysis paralysis. You don't make the decision will make you. If neighbor had taken off a quarter second earlier, you'd be looking at a first down right now.
Oh, and a couple of inside steps would have done in some blunders too. But those long ways, I guess, we're trying to look to draw out the defense. But sometimes it's kind of not worth the struggle, isn't it?
3rd and 2. Juice worth the squeeze here? That's the questions neighbors asking. And with James Cook once again decides to go for the safe play. 12 rushes, 50 yards. Quick math, 3.8 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's about right. But hey, it's always worth the squeeze. Squeeze it. Squeeze the juice.
Oh, speaking of, Cook almost falls inside. Now spitting distance away here, folks, for the Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills.
Cook spilled out like the overpacked closet, right? You just got to see him go head first. Oh, so close to a touchdown. So close to a touchdown here, and there's an opportunity to really get more points on the board, to really put this to bed. It's 3rd. I mean, there's a lot of time for a comeback. We've seen that before, but the way the Buffalo's been playing.
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought that was going to be in.
I thought that was going to be in as well. This is now the 3rd, 4th down on the goal line in a row for these two players. First was Kansas City, second was Buffalo, now 3rd is Buffalo yet again. Audibles on audibles. Josh Allen almost looking nervous down there. This is going to be another rushing play right up the middle, and Cook's going to get there. Another touchdown on the board, and the Buffalo Bills have taken a very, very heated lead thus far here. About a minute and a half into the 3rd period.
Yeah, I can imagine all the supporters there having a sigh of relief because that was looking pretty dire quite for a second. But walking it in with swag is a good way to get favorite back. 17-3 for Buffalo.
Nicely done. This is becoming a little bit of a breakaway here. No shutdown, of course. No absolute sweep. No goose eggs here for Kansas City. This is a better kick over to the side. Miko Hardman is going to bring this one out. No sideline run for this, and allows 3 of them to take him down. 25 yards would be the standard. This is minus 11. This is literally exact opposite of what happened earlier. There's special teams here for both of these squads are having a moderately different performances. I think that's a nice neutral way to say it, Navanta.
Don't bring up this whole team down with math. That run was pretty fun to see, have people chase after them. But no, you're absolutely right. I'm not sure why.
I forgot.
Moral victories aren't really a thing here, so let's go forward.
I forgot about that. The kickoff return, no matter what, go for gold, go for broke every single time, period. That's what Navanta has to say.
This is why I'm up here in the booth and not actually playing the game.
That's fair. That's the Madden game that we all really want. Hail Mary is every play, go for it on 4th, onside kick when you don't get it. Love it. Love it. Nice slant play, Rashee Rice. Okay, so I love this play, right? Number 21, he realizes that he's kind of like cornered out. He is directly in between himself, the offensive player, and the end zone there for the Commanders line that you can see. Tries to get on the inside there because outside was where his momentum was going. Knew he would have been pushed out. Not going to matter. R1, yes, up and over. Pacheco takes the biggest bomb play of this game thus far.
Yeah, that is not something you want to allow happen. Someone as good as Pacheco realize they're all alone, just breakdancing by themselves. You got to shut that down and get in front of them or behind them. Make it more difficult to go to an option quite like that. Good thing to stop them when they did, because that could have busted the game open there for Kansas City.
I think that was inside linebacker that kind of busted the coverage, right? So they're playing zone. You have to hand this receiver off to a teammate here to then cover. But because he's playing forward and got the eyes forward, can't see behind him quite yet. That would be an interesting NFL game. Players with eyes in the back of their heads, like our mothers always threaten.
That is crazy. Yeah, how would you get past that?
I don't know. You'd be a fantastic defender, my friend. I'm not sure if it helped you out too much on offense, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So here you have Pat Mahomes and Beck and company trying to understand what the outside screens may be here. But I'm thinking if I were them, I'd probably go on the opposite and go right up Broad Street here.
The heavily loaded side is Rashee Rice. Perfect accuracy, but ball knocked out. Defenders doing it here for the Buffalo Bills. This is what we saw towards more of the middle of this regular season, Novanta. Not so much the playoffs. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you be intimidated by the shape. You see defense lines up, you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do it. I'm gonna push out to the outside, but there you get kind of rope-a-dope into basically brick walls on left and right side. You don't want to get yourself in that situation all too often.
And Kelsey as well, not really being involved in this offensive plays whatsoever. 4th and 1's an easier decision. 4th and 4 is a little bit of a different story. Kansas City gambling right now. That's a big pass. Rashee Rice gets it, but that's knocked out. Oh my God, a turnover on downs here, Novanta.
There was no call play at all there. There's no flag on the play on that one. That is just unfortunate. You did everything right you could have. It was a little reckless, but it looked like it was going to pay out, but I guess not.
Quick slant to the outside perhaps here for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. No, it's going to be James Cook right across, and 1 second to go. We're looking at the 4th quarter. This is, I mean, we're ahead. We're going to be looking at neighbor over here just continuously playing like the standard 4th quarter play, and that is a lot of runs to keep this clock running. Still 3 timeouts for Kansas City, but this is a 2-score deficit for our squad out of Missouri.
Yeah, that turnover on downs may end up being the game-breaking play there for game 1 is best of 3 series. So. That was unfortunate. I know there's still time to have the comeback of epic comebacks, but it has to start less than now. It has to start 5 seconds ago.
Just once that indicator strikes to the 4th, right, from 3rd quarter to 4th quarter, then the entire game plans for both of these teams just change, right? If you're ahead, especially if you're ahead by more than 8. 2-score lead would be more so about burning this timeout. That's all we've seen so far. Even passes are going to be completed inside the field, not ran out to stop this clock, because right now the biggest opponent to Kansas City is not named the Buffalo Bills. It is named Chronological Resource or time.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's a team
$5 word for y'all.
I have to go look that up. Stop making me learn stuff.
Time's
First
too
math,
simple.
now this.
We're going chronological resource here. 4th and 2, decision time again, but that's no decision for the Bills, is it, Novanta?
No, it isn't. I know clock management is kind of a more difficult thing to manage in Madden because of the pace of play, but that's how it's done, really. And forget that. Move the chains. Do it again.
Yeah, Diggs, not just the catch, but inside as well. 2nd catch for about 30 yards there. Allen steps back yet again. Players moving all across. This is more heavily centered in the middle beforehand. Now more spreading the field. Cook getting nowhere. Defense reading this one perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the path, and I saw it clearly. So I can imagine if Madden was your game, you had to shut that down when you could. And that's exactly what happened there. There's a loss.
2nd and 11 right here. Pass play probably coming up given the look of this. Nope, James Cook is going to take this one again, and the same result. 20 rushes for 60 yards. Got a couple of receptions in there as well, and a pair of touchdowns.
Yeah, there really isn't no urgency there. 3rd and 14 isn't the end of it all, but more importantly, we lost about 35 seconds over the last 2 plays.
Ooh, that's not a good pass right there, as this shouldn't be a decision. Even if you want to keep this clock running, this will be 2 minutes on the other side, and it's Kansas City that you're facing. That's Patrick Mahomes that you're facing on the other side. Nope, they're going to go for it.
Try to get that disrespect, put that first game out beyond doubt. It has to hit there for that kind of moment.
And coverage here looking pretty good right now. That's a pick. Yes, Boyd Joe takes this. Now rocketing over to the left side. Seemed like right was a little bit more open, but hey, again, reason why I'm on this side of the desk, folks.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking about clock management and having the lead and shoring up game 1, and you throw a bomb right downtown during rush hour. That's not how it's done there, Tugboat.
It's going to get stopped up in traffic there. It's Mahomes, 2 minutes, 40 seconds. I feel like I've seen this movie before. Body on a poster slant right now. Out to the middle. Mecole Hardman comes back for it and gets outside, as that might actually be the biggest reception of this game so far.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being on the receiving end of a punch you saw coming but couldn't stop. What a bomb and what a reception.
Seriously, was not much to be done about it, and even better to give it up. You know, maybe 2 yards they could have gotten vertically, and instead getting horizontal with it. Stop this clock, no timeout necessary. Scantling thread the needle across double coverage. That's going to be enough, and 1st and goal will be the reward for Jordooo.
Now, usually I will sit here and complain about throwing in coverage and throwing in that kind of traffic, but it looks like Pat Mahomes and company has been pretty fortunate with that all game. And why not go what works for you?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes with feet set and no actual pressure within a couple feet of him. This is the stuff that defenses' nightmares are made out of. As is that. So that's the caster's curse if I've ever seen it, man. Jeezeries.
Yeah, that was definitely a very Doug Flutie of them. But hey, you know what I mean? Let's get a little bit of a feint there, a little bit of a fake out. I can guarantee the play here's the way you want to watch it.
A quick pass, and a player like Kelsey usually takes these. A performance like that will not have their names cheered in 2 days there in Las Vegas in the Super Bowl.
Oh
Heavily
man.
loaded up to this left side right now. Pacheco much closer, holding hands right now with Mahomes. Change getting called, I assume here. I mean, these players have called audibles pretty much every play so far. Nothing changing here as this clock is winding down. 2-minute warning coming up in just a couple of seconds. Mahomes tries to take off and gets basically nowhere.
Yep, there's your 2-minute warning. And yeah, I was about to say, had that would have gone off and it was going to be a touchdown game, it would put a lot more pressure on Buffalo to really understand the mistake that was for that interception. But here we go.
Showed the run pass option here. I'm not against it. There you go. That's going to be the second try. Hardman is going to be the one taking this, and Kansas City puts up their first touchdown of the game.
This could not go at any worse for Buffalo. It looked like the game was wrapped, done, and dusted, however you want to say it. But now, in a blink of an eye, it can go the other way.
Yeah, the fact that Jordooo, the Fort Valley State University student, was able to do this without using a single timeout, and while strategically using that 2-minute warning, that 2-minute warning timeout, that's everything in a bag of chips. I see an onside kick attempt. This is
Oh,
two
man.
minutes. You have 3 timeouts.
Well, we're going to go for it because it's all about being a legend, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Butker gets this one out. That doesn't quite go, and Dodson's going to be able to get this.
Was it enough?
A field goal will ice this game.
Was it enough? Yes, it wasn't enough. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand the attempt here, I guess. Not really, I don't really understand. But it happened
No.
anyway. It just didn't work out for them as we knew it would have. And you're right, it's going to be in for that.
I love that. I understand the attempt. Well, no, actually, I don't. Oh, Cook, shimmy shake on 2. Chanel finally brings this guy down. Cook, if we're giving out MVP status of this game between these two teams so far, can't have that conversation. Sentence cannot be made without James Cook being the proper noun in it.
Yeah,
James Cook,
I'm dating myself, but that was definitely more like a hammer dance more than a juke, but it was effective. Why the heck not? And thankfully, almost as a bit of respite, Buffalo's back in the driver's seat.
yes, they are. Again, especially with 1 minute left and runs still being committed, James Cook just aims it right down the middle of this defensive player and keeps the legs a churning. That's going to be enough for 4. Timeout called, the second for Kansas City.
Oh, that was a bit of a benefit of the collision detection more than actual skill, but if you got the hot head, why not, right?
Definitely agree. Latavius Murray in this game. James Cook takes the rocket again, gets out to the first down and a little bit more, but this is smart. Keep it outside. Don't keep a situation where Kansas City can actually go, you score. There's a chance you miss the extra point. Now you're talking about a minute with Kansas City, and we just saw what Jordooo can do with just a little bit of time, man.
Oh, bodies flying into my living room there. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. That's great.
Kneel play. This game number 1 is over.
Well, it really wasn't as clean as I thought it would be, and I really was kind of worried about leaving those points on the table, ultimately coming back to bite Buffalo in the arse. But I will say this: Buffalo's found a way to have a bit of those resources. It worked out for them, and they got game 1 is best of game 3. That's a 3 set.
Yeah, so no eliminations right here. Gotta say, I do love the change from one and done with a single elimination on over to the best of 3, especially given, once again, folks, all of these players on site, right? They all made the effort, travel on down there to Orlando, Florida, and going to be competing live, which is something we have not really talked about too much, right? There's such a difference in playing in the comfort of your home, right? Where you got everything, got all your snacks, your drinks, restrooms, everything else right there. But
Oh yeah.
that completely goes right out the window. The lights and sounds and pressure of lane competition. Neighbor taking this one down 17-10 for the game number 1.
That is definitely a player specific perspective. I'm someone who likes to be with the crowd because I love the days of going to the arcade and having going like, "Oh snap, you did it!" But there's some guys who do fold in that pressure, and you're right. Every time being at home, being able to relax, grab a snack if you want, get yourself a massage, walk away, do one of these things, the jazz hands that do between games. You don't get that as much as well. So it really depends on the player. But right now, it does feel like Neighbor has that game in hand and all the confidence that goes with it.
Yeah, 100% agreed. The thing that we always did back in the day is you get the sink with the hot water, you put your hands under there for the hot water, right? So when you're playing on controller, it gets your fingers nice and limber. Trust me on
Oh.
that one, gamers. Trust me on that one.
Didn't know that. I'm taking a pro tip from Tugboat. Usually I just lose and blame my controller. That's what I do. But next
That's what
time
it
I'll,
is.
I'll use
Well,
warm water.
I just lose and then blame not doing my prep, or the water wasn't warm enough, right? The
Right,
water wasn't
right.
warm enough. That's when I'm screaming in my ranked games. I'm exiting. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about.
Gamers, what's your copium?
Hey,
Let
there
us
you
know
go.
in the comments below. How do you
No,
cope with losses?
I was doing doing a Madden tournament here in Las Vegas yesterday, and I heard one of the most unique excuses, right? So Madden 24, obviously this isn't like a super new thing, but you can play a team, but you can also pick an offensive playbook and a defensive playbook, right? We saw somebody yesterday playing with the Browns, but the defensive Andy Reid and the offensive Sean McDermott, which is kind of indicative of this game right here, right? But what he said was, this playbook is, well, I can't use the word. This playbook is bad. I don't know any of these plays. My guy, these are NFL coaches who have made these plays, who use it in real life, and you
Yeah,
chose the playbooks. I
right.
absolutely loved it. I absolutely love that excuse. Just
That's
gamers
the
and their
meme,
excuses,
right?
right?
My brother,
Exactly.
you picked the playbook.
You pick the plays, though. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's going on with that? But we move on to game
Oh,
two, and I'm kind of curious to see what would be the neutral site if we are doing a neutral site. Look, you are Jordooo. You change your team. You maybe something's going through your mind. Maybe that was something you're preparing for. Was that kind of a debuff for you? I wonder what's going to go through their mind as well as the second game of this specific reset.
I'm not. I'm not surprised with the change of Kansas City, given how Josh Allen has been so up and down, like in real life, and I think that can be reflected within game as well. Especially given that the one real time that Josh Allen actually picked this rock up and took it, that was a fumble. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was out to the sideline, so it ended up not having an effect on the overall of this game. But I'll remind you, Devonta,
Whoa,
this is a
whoa.
17-10 game.
Whoa! Is this the lack of faith in Josh Allen that you're somehow trying to shift into this digital tournament? Are you no longer a fan of Josh Allen? You don't think
No,
he's
no, no.
elite?
You have a fantastic point, Navanta. There's a reason why the Buffalo Bills are going to play in the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Damn! Dies and roast. Dies and roast.
There you go. Hey, it's the pressure. It's literally what we were just talking about. Yeah,
Right.
the Super Bowl pressure, yes, is the exact same as the pressure playing online. No. But live competitions, guys, and I love the Bills. I would have loved to see them go. It sucks to see their history and just how often they can make it to the dance, but then no one asks them to take it to the floor, right? This is an unfortunate postseason stuff, and I really do feel like the two best teams in the NFL are in the Niners and City. I feel like the two best teams are in the Super Bowl right now. I would
Yeah,
have
well,
loved if they did, but we saw that game.
we get, hey, to the Bills' credit, they're the only team that plays out of New York proper. But yes, so we roll on to game two, and it really comes down to the kind of plays we're going to see. Kansas City, even between last time and this time, doesn't really know what it wants to be. Doesn't really want to be a shotgun, Hail Mary, 15-yard passing play game, or we're going to get some of that running game we saw Pacheco the last time we were on live and stream. I think the consistency issue is really works out for Buffalo more. It has such a depth of what their attack is. They're fine. I got to really see what Jordan's going to bring this time around.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Guys, we are swapping sides. Kansas City now on the left side with Jordooo, Buffalo, Neighbor on the right side. If we're talking about calculated risks, Novanta, I feel like the previous game had very few that were like bad gambles, right? Yes, we saw a few fourth down plays. Those were necessary within the confines of what was going on at the time.
Yeah, absolutely, and rightfully so. If you know you're playing a best of three, that first game needs to be as reckless as you like it, and then get more conservative as it goes on. Because if you do the opposite, if you try to do your plans and your plays, and then you get kind of desperate and start going for those Hail Mary plays, then it'll be in bad news. So I do want to see that, but I want to improve as the series goes on.
And especially given that Neighbor now with the advantage coming into this one, they're going to be able to play around a lot more, take some more risks, but Kansas City might find themselves in positions where pressure yields the same kind of risky gambling plays. Josh Allen in the back has all the coverage in the world until it collapses on both sides. The world coming in at you, and what do you do, Josh Allen? Gonna be happy just to get that ball out, not take a massive negative play.
Yeah, Josh Allen looked like he was in the middle of a funhouse mirror, just seeing a sea of white on left and right. Didn't know where to go. Good thing he wasn't a fumble there.
I love that analogy. Dawson Knox, McMahon, number 88, the tight end, getting involved right now. 4 yards all the way up. And see, this is the kind of calculated risk that I'm not about. Not about it.
Okay, what would you do there, hotshot?
I'm punting the ball. Okay, never mind. I'm throwing the ball as a bomb to Shakir, the absolute star, the superstar, the MVP of last game. And then I'm going to slow my feet on the way inside for a little bit extra. I don't think I danced that well, though. I got to give it to Shakir here.
That was the best, quickest caster curse blessing ever. I would punt it. Never mind. Never mind. Just like that. There's the first 6 on the board. They have Buffalo going back to their scoring ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Extra point attempt coming up here. Dana shifting feet, trying to get up there. Not going to happen throughout these competitions so far. And we will sing its praises when it happens. But all extra point attempts have been perfect.
Yeah, this is the kind of speed we saw in the first quarter of the first game. It didn't really work out as smoothly for Buffalo, but the result's the same. It's a explosive scoring attack. They have the lead, and let's say they're more disciplined of making sure Kansas City doesn't get in this game.
Hardman Jr. kneeled down, smart decisions here. This one is pinned pretty perfectly over slightly right, moderately inside, which is exactly where you want this one. Decisions coming here. Kansas City has got to answer back quickly. 54 seconds on the first drive here for Neighbor.
Yeah, it looks that way. I'm trying to curious to see what's going to be the first play of the game there for Kansas City on the offensive side, and I'm kind of going through that playbook on bated breath, and interesting choice. Well, then again, there's so many audibles happening too. It's kind of to see what is going to be the play actually selected or something else entirely.
Yeah, they only have a few seconds extra. This was a Kansas City who started out game number 1 with that delay of game as well. Of course, it wasn't accepted there. Just kind of good sportsmanship, right? We talk about all the time how much cash is on the line and what exactly is at stake with that ticket on to go to see the draft day. Pacheco, there you go. A run for the first play here for the Kansas City. Maybe a little lesson learned from game number 1.
Interesting choice. That was the one time I was like, oh man, it's whole left side. You could have had another run, another touchdown play, easy. But okay, a lot of variety there, but things have to connect soon.
Yeah, and Pacheco is actually wide open right there. It's like I'm either throwing it to my receivers or handing it off to my running back, and never the twain shall meet, Navanta.
Absolutely. It does feel like opposite day there. That's why it's kind of frustrating to watch, or maybe awesome to watch, depending on the kind of Madden game watcher you are.
If you're neighbor, you love to see it here. Scantling right up on the line as well. Closes against slant route being shown right now, or excuse me, post route being shown right now. Everybody else on a slant here gets us out to Pacheco and takes the easy first down. Not against it whatsoever.
I was also looking at Scantling as well. Kind of a fake out for me, but hey, positive yards is always good. Move the chains. First down.
There's not much defensive coverage on the left side of this field right now. There's 3 players stacked up and no audibles being called on the right side. This is a free play to the left side. There's 3 different players this ball could go to, and nothing. Rolls out to the right side, goes directly into defensive coverage. This is a handed mistake for Jordooo.
Well, I think you and I were thinking the same thing. What's the coverage going to be like? But forcing Mahomes on the right side was amazing. Put him pretty much in a hole, had nowhere to go.
Sparsely covered. Once again, now it's going to be moved, so Kelsey getting at least looking like he's getting triple covered right now. That's something we might see in the Super Bowl a couple days, or tomorrow I should say. Rasheed Rice catches it but falls outside and tries to swim to the Buffalo Bills sideline.
Well, it does count, doesn't it? Yeah, first down. Oh man, that was close there. Get both inside there, and well, it wasn't the thing I would have picked in that situation, but you can't argue with the results. It's still 7-0. Kansas City has it good on the board, but they do seem a bit more disciplined this go around.
I mean, 54 seconds for a drive for the Buffalo Bills. That's about as good as you're going to get unless you get it done in one single play, which, of course, the bomb to Shakir did get that one done. Pacheco right across the middle gets touched on 2nd and inches. I thought that was a first, but going to be able to fight this one a little bit more. Kind of a theoretical question here, right? Would you rather get the first down, or would you rather get 2nd and inches and get a little bit of wiggle room here? Because this could be much more than just a couple of inches. There's Hardman. Sorry, I guess your question the other way.
No, I do think that in the real game scenario, you want to probably have a second in inches. But when you have that first down in Madden, it's kind of almost like a mental clearing. It allows you to go, okay, let me a chance to reset and all the advantages you can mentally or digitally. So why not go for it?
All the way out, across the body. Hardman Jr. is as wide open as it gets. Open up the top, and you'll find 6 points.
Hey, it's the kind of play that if that were real, Pat Mahomes would probably have to be sitting after game 6 with a busted arm, but it works out for them. Kansas City's on the board, and now it's a tie game.
I pray for this man's elbow sometimes. That right elbow is the most hardly taxed item in the NFL, dude.
Absolutely. And we have ourselves a tie score. I think the first tie of the series. So maybe the fortunes is changing for Kansas City.
Yeah, yeah, it is, because it was 7-3 in the beginning. The first game right there. Harry comes out for it. Harry catch starting this one in the 25.
Pretty standard fare, very practice. And I kind of started to say, if I'm Buffalo now, what you going to have up your sleeve? Maybe some second or third options. Like, what would you do? Would you go back to the passing game that worked out for you so quickly? Or would you realize the first game with your running game was almost untouched? Go over that direction.
Yeah, there was one man who got touchdowns in game 1 for Buffalo Bills, and that man's name was James Cook. I see no reason to fix this if it ain't broke, Devonta.
You know what? I'm with you there. Sometimes I always say, don't try to outthink your opponent. Just do what works. And if they make you change, and make yourself that change. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If it's working, it's rolling.
Don't outthink them if you can outperform them. And if you're outperforming them, God, do not overthink it. Like, just keep doing what you're doing.
If I was knocked loose, it was not really a chance for a fumble there, but you know it's going to happen sooner or later the way these balls are being popped out on these sack attempts.
Davis to the outside right, now right along the line, but that's going to be Diggs to the cut back in. First down, Josh Allen moves the chains.
Caught the ball, but the legs were in quicksand, didn't get any more yardage after the catch, but hey, look, right, moving chains is always a good thing.
Oh, the pressure in the world, and Allen just swallowed up whole in the backfield. A 7-yard loss, and that's one of the biggest sacks of this series so far.
That's putting it lightly. Absolute trucked.
One with the grass right there, Josh Allen. Oh, double coverage, and they're just going to be happy that one isn't picked off.
Talk about the rattling of a play, right? You take the loss yardage, you try to get it back, quote unquote. You do something that's kind of reckless by your own standards. Granted, it was an interception, but it could have been.
Could have been. The most threatening question in the world. What could have been? Keep you up at night. Plenty more plays here for both of these players. Can't reflect on that previous one. 3rd and 17. A lot of deep zone coverage being shown right now from the defense, and there's no quick slants that can get this first down. Allen and Neighbor are going to have to earn this in every way, shape, and form. The outside, Davis gets nowhere past it, and we're 4th and 6.
I know commentators worth their salt will say something like, you got to have memory like a goldfish, or you got to not think about it. I say the opposite. Think about it. Let it keep you up at night. Let them go, I can't really do that dumb move because he won't do it again. Let's try something new. And guess what? Right over the top, first down.
Devonta's about the negative reinforcement of yourself. I like this. You gotta be mean to yourself sometimes. Not too mean. Too mean. But you gotta be mean to yourself sometimes.
Right. You're terrible, so I believe in you.
There you go. That's what you gotta look at the beard, point, just like the meme. Like, you're terrible, but I believe in you, and you can do this. I'd like to think that's how Josh Allen starts every morning.
Right. That's how champions move. I don't know.
Cook, nothing. Right at the middle. The running game here for the Buffalo Bills, headed by James Cook, has been figured out mostly by the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
And rightfully so. I mean, if they didn't get it figured out, I would have really questions about tournament play. So, and now it comes down to plan B and C. If you're in Buffalo, what do you have up your sleeve to really draw the defense?
Gotta be malleable, and there's a lot of open players. Yep, Dawson Knox right there. Number 10, I believe that's Diggs, was not able to get in a defensive position for his receiver.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a pickup, kind of an uninspired offensive attack. You can't get mad at completions, but really can't go through short screens all day long. Or maybe you can.
There you go, Davis barely picking this one out of the air. Double coverage. Says who?
Says who? First down again. I wonder, though, if I am Buffalo, would you go back to some of the theatric you saw in the back half of the first game, or do something a bit more conservative to run the clock early?
Yeah, blitz shown right there, and that's going to be enough. Run of the clock early. That's actually a really interesting topic. We should delve into it this way because we're looking at 3 minutes, still 3 timeouts on the other side. If you definitely can, if you're a neighbor, you can run this all the way down to probably about 45 seconds or so if you keep these chains moving. If you make those guys on the sidelines work, that's what I'm saying, Navanta.
Yeah,
Make them move. Make them move. We need better cardio for the chain guys than we do for the players.
Absolutely. I think a lot of us want to be able to go out there and have a 50-point game, but being able to work the clock to not give your opponent a chance to get back after you score is equally valuable, especially how fast Madden games do go. So I'm with you. So move those chains, y'all.
Chains, 2-minute warning coming on in here. 3 timeouts still for Kansas City, so the option to keep that going down to 45 seconds or so and not let Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City offense get ball back is not quite within the realm of possibility so far, given that you only have space for one more first down. We'll see how they do and see how neighbor plays this one, if it is to perfection.
This right outside the red zone, knocking on his door, but that's not how it's going to be done because, again, stopped pretty much early there. James Cook's on the ground.
No timeout called here for Kansas City. Jordooo not anticipating getting this ball back, it seems. Another run play probably for here, and then you kick the field goal if nothing else happens, right?
I mean, I would say so, better get something to nothing at all, but that's almost not worth nothing, and that just bailed him out. What a catch there from Knox.
Should be. No, that's going to be 3rd and 3 right here. The timeout does get called. Now it's decision time, right? Do you trust James Cook again, or you just go for another short pass on the inside to keep first down and clock running?
Yeah, we're not going to go here, but
okay.
Anyway.
Dangerous, dangerous. See, the problem with that is now the clock is stopped, and a lot of players would take the 3 points going on into a Kansas City Chiefs offense. That is not the play we're seeing today.
Oh, my word. This could be costly here. Hopefully they have a plan that we're not even seeing here in the booth.
I mean, what, you turn it over here, I guess you have great field position for these players. Shakir, that's going to be enough for the first down, but gets to the outside, so stops the clock. That issue continues here for the Buffalo Bills.
Skin the teeth, kid. It didn't look like it was going to be anywhere near there, but another chance to get across the line.
The rush play, James Cook gets nowhere, but the burning of the clock going to be advantage still for Buffalo Bills. The second timeout used for Kansas City, and a minute left on this clock.
Yeah, you have to do whatever they can to make sure they get that ball back without having them score again. I know it's only a touchdown. There's a lot of time there, but every point counts because you saw how close the first game was.
And off here, Cook just...
Oh, my gosh!
leisurely Sunday stroll on into the end zone. James Cook has 3 touchdowns now across these 2 games.
It got spiked down, though. See that? It was like having a leisurely stroll, and someone got mad about it.
It just comes and ruins your perfect day. A Sunday stroll in the park. Extra point attempt coming up here. Again, Bass, Butker, both of these teams have had perfect point after attempts, as well as our previous day 1 of the broadcast as well. No one's missed an extra point attempt.
Love the exchange in that last go-around. We saw the technical strengths of both teams. Ultimately, it was neighbor with the edge there, but it could have gone either way pretty easily.
Hardman calling for the fair catch from the 25 in 1-minute drill here for Kansas City. Is it safe to say, is it fair to say here, Navanta, that Patrick Mahomes has been in this situation before?
Oh, plenty of times. And that's why he's one of the most elite quarterbacks of all time. That's right, I said it, but it's a whole new game there. You got to be able to use resources at your disposal, and I don't think it's been that efficient compared to its real-life counterpart here for Kansas City.
I'd have to agree with that one. I have to agree. 2 tight ends. Right side, plenty of options, goes for the bomb, and Hardman, even with good accuracy, is going to be easily knocked out from the defender.
Sorry, but Travis Kelce was almost open. What's up with him? He's pretty good. Just put it out there.
My man Jordooo is just not really incorporated Travis Kelce into this. Kelce, a staple of the Kansas City Chiefs for years now, and just simply has not incorporated him into this as much. And it's not like we've been constantly seeing double coverage either, you know. Also, Jordooo has been running Patrick Mahomes out of the pocket multiple times once the first look and checkdowns assumed afterwards has not been good.
Yeah, you can tell a total disregard for Pat Mahomes' body. 80-yard bombs and getting sacked 10 times a game. Reminds me of David Carr when he used to play for the Texans, but that's besides the point. Here's an opportunity there, another 1-3rd and 10 there for Kansas City. Let's see what comes out with this one.
Chapman showing the slant right now. Right there would have been a perfect pass for the first down, but this is all the pressure in the world as Mahomes rolls back on out. Offensive linemen, oh boy. They're just going to be happy that is not just a pick, but a pick with a lot of yardage.
It could have been a sack. It could have been a pick. It could have been a trip. It could have been a lot of things.
It could have been a
What
fumble
just
on
happened?
Mahomes, dude. Like, seriously. A little bit of pressure, especially as he's trying to get into stance to pitch this ball out. And that would have been pretty much a scoop and score on this side. First punt in a long time, it feels like.
I'm sure Andy Reid isn't happy. Oh, but deflected. It's deflected. It's going the other way. To the 5.
Oops.
Touchdown, baby.
Nicely done. This is at the very end of the first half as well, as this Buffalo Bills squad's home field is going to be going insane right now.
Wow, I was just about to say it really wasn't the best day for Kansas City, and it just got worse. What a return there for Buffalo.
Well, we already have more points in this game than we had previously here. So 28 staring at 27 earlier. That point after stays perfect. And I mean, a minute of time for Kansas City, Jordooo and Patrick Mahomes, that's doable. 34 seconds is a lot of a tougher, much more of a tougher task. No, can't talk.
Yeah, you got a whole half to get that back, but I'm talking about what happened there. It definitely was under pressure on offense, had the turnover on downs, and then you got yourself stuffed with the punts. And so it's situations like that where you go, what was I doing? You start doubting yourself as a player, and you wonder whether or not it was just a bad run or you're not as good as your opponent.
It's fair. It's fair. Hey, maybe this will be a logical basis to say, hey, we're not punting. We're going for it on fourth no matter what.
No.
That one.
Sometimes you got to punt, bro.
Yeah, you really do. And a situation like that, you absolutely had to. Is just the execution on the defense, bringing that player off on the left side and all the way down. That was a user interaction as well. Scoop and score afterwards. Patrick Mahomes on the 25. Re-audible in the book getting called right now as Kelsey goes into motion. Couple of seconds left, and the play clock does get snapped off here. Pressure there, and nothing. That actually hit the hands of number 58 as well. Almost a second defensive play here for the Buffalo Bills and neighbor.
Yeah, you're one fingertip away of making this a 27, 28-point Buffalo run, and that is just unfortunate. Things are coming down. The sky is falling in Kansas City.
It really is. Really is. Neighbor doing everything in a bag of chips on defense as of right now. Ball can't get out again. And that's what's going on right here. Jordooo is only looking for big bomb plays. Now, that makes sense the last few seconds here, but that, I mean, given that that's the writing on the wall, Neighbor's just going to bring the Buffalo defense. It seems to be getting through this offensive line for Kansas City every single play.
Yeah, that's definitely the human element of playing a game quite like Madden. You make a mistake and you say, I'm going to get it back. And getting it back, you put yourself in a deeper and deeper hole. And you feel like, no, wait. It's almost like when you play any kind of game like Tetris. No, give me one more chance. I'll do better this time. Small ball works for a reason. You don't have to be a hero, especially so early in the game.
I mean, if this is a turnover on downs, this is a basically guaranteed field goal as well. Yes, punt didn't work last time. You still have to keep it within the playbook. Seems like as the move to be made. Everybody on a longer play right here. That's going to be a timeout called, and a little bit more time to consider what to be done here on 4th and 10.
You can think about it all you want, but either way, it's not going to be the best idea for either one.
Here's the punt that we were looking for. Be drawn up pretty well. No, again! Elam gets there. Receivers rattled, and that's going to be another really bad play on the punt. I would be surprised if Jordooo pulls this in the second half.
I saw that one coming. It looked like it was just no one was anywhere near anyone in a blue uniform, just outstretched like the Detroit Lions logo to bring that ball down. And now we're going the other way once again.
It takes a little bit of time to pick a play, perhaps a little bit of celebration here for Neighbor, as this outcome is getting more and more etched into the history books here. Josh Allen steps back, all the offensive line coverage in the world, and just throws this one away leisurely.
Hey, well, that's actually a smart play, just to make sure they have the opportunity to have that touchdown they want so much. But you're right, even if you don't get anywhere near it, there'll still be time for that field goal. So kind of a win-win situation for them.
The 2 extra plays at least, even if the reception does not get made. Made to the outside right here. That's Davis. motion right now onto the right side, just to give him a little bit of space from the line of scrimmage. And the line, that's going to be an easy one inside as the zone coverage breaks down yet again. That's Josh Allen with two of them now, as Shakir and James Cook really seem to be the offensive powerhouse of this Buffalo Bills squad.
Yeah, props on the touchdown. That's going to make it pretty much 28 after this point, after touchdown. But again, a lot of the issues I had about the offensive attack of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in that first game was the hesitation off the snap. We're seeing that time close. And I think with quicker decisions, you're getting a lot more efficient plays like that.
So actually, we should talk about the effect that home field advantage has had here, right? Washington Commanders had the field so neutral site for game number 1. Now Buffalo Bills has the home field territory here for game number 2. If Kansas City comes back, makes this, logic would only follow if we go to Arrowhead for game number 3.
Oh, that's a big thing. I think one of the buffs here in Buffalo is that the opponent, in this case, the Kansas City Chiefs, are going to have a lot more trouble making receptions. And so you have Pat Mahomes doing these shotgun passing plays in a situation where you know the receivers have a hard time catching. It's going to be bad news all across the board. And I think the bad news has just turned worse.
Yeah, so Neighbor has just figured out the defense right here. Whatever he's doing to get through, if Kansas City offensive line is just working, it's constant pressure, and Mahomes probably half of these attempts just have to get thrown into the dirt to avoid taking that sack.
We're looking at the advantage here, running play. I should have been a running play because Pacheco had all the path in the world, and thankfully a catch. That's the first down, but I don't know there, Taco. I'm seeing a lack of confidence there from Jordooo.
Yeah, it was a bomb, but not enough. As we go into halftime, locker room now, performance for Kansas City. Figure out what exactly you want to do to bring this game back, down by 3 touchdowns.
I would do anything to get Kansas City back into this one. I don't know if it's an Andy Reid yelling mini game. I don't know if it's a Taylor Swift performance. This game is slipping away from them, and fast.
Absolutely. The sound from all these Buffalo Bills fans crashing onto easily broken tables in the parking lot right now really having an effect on the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, it's only halftime, man. Jeez.
Fair catch called. Starting this one on the 25.
All right, so here's actually an opportunity for a clean slate. You realize the out-of-pocket plays, the shotgun plays aren't working. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you got to get something on the board. Maybe some of that small ball might do themselves some good here.
I hear you. Well, this has been, go big or go home so far for Jordooo, and playing that from behind from 7 to 14 has yielded now another 14 points put on the board here for Buffalo. That's good coverage. That's Scantling to the outside, 2 feet in, and a big bomb moves the chains.
But you see what I'm saying here, right? If you had a couple 1 yard, 2 yard runs and you're at 4th and 3, you might be more inclined to go for it. But you have these bombs that don't work and they are stuck for a punt, and then the punts get blocked. You really realize the only path you have of having a chance anywhere near your opponent is to make sure you keep constantly moving it up with a running game.
Speaking of, either involving Pacheco in the running game or involving Pacheco into the coverage, into the guard type situation. Scantling drops this one. Fantastic play from the defense. Number 27 right there. Little bit of a bump, and he says nothing, not a zilch.
So close in the hands. They always say the QB gets it in your hands. It's your responsibility to catch it.
Entirely fair. Right in the hands, Scantling, Mahomes did. Scantling right there. This is a heavily loaded right side, it seems. Steps back. All the coverage in the world. Bomb out. Hardman gets it in and secured for the first down, plus a lot more.
It's dangerous. It's scandalous, but I sure do love it. Kansas City has a play or two right and get themselves back in the game here.
Pacheco sent out yet again. Right across the middle. That's a little bit more dangerous. Intercepted. Oh, this hits Pacheco on the right side and intercepted. Brutal, absolutely brutal for Jordooo. Kansas City in shambles right now.
I saw the idea. Look at Pacheco overran it. See that? Try to double back, but it was just too late. And there you have it, going the other way once again. And that's Buffalo.
That ball literally hit off of the receiver right there to just end right into the numbers. Number 28. I believe that was Elam as well. Elam being the defensive player controlled by Neighbor that stopped both of those punt attempts.
Well, there's a chance to be the play of the game. That will be it right there in spades already. It's not even the end of the game, and the appearance is being felt.
Hook gets all the way out to the sideline right now. Perfect flat play here. A rush for 8 yards 2 per average on the rushes attempts for James Cook.
The best possible result there. I thought for sure it's going to be in safety town, right? But just to go out and draw out and go left and attempt to go to push the first down is always good. Got most of it though.
What a safety would have put them at a 19-point deficit, which is a lot more doable. Obviously, still 3 scores, but nothing doing on that one. Reed showing up here, defensive powerhouse of Kansas City for this first tackle.
This is just interesting to see about the kind of fortunes that Buffalo has. Like we said, it wasn't the most efficient game. Can't say they're playing at an elite level, but you have so many opportunities to put something on the board. If you put half of them on the board, you're already seeing an emphatic score like we have right now.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Well, 1 second on the play clock right here. Josh Allen gets all the coverage in the world, and Diggs catches this one, even through 2 defenders pretty close, and that's going to get them so much more wiggle room and breathing room.
What a catch of beauty. That's a ballerina twirl right in the sky, bringing it down. Need more of that, please.
And Avanta and I have 10 out of 10 signs held above our heads right now. James Cook takes this one, keeps the clock moving, and that's really what we have to pay attention to right now. No, it's not the 4th quarter yet, but every single time you get this play clock able to be eaten off a lot, that's the auto there for about 20 seconds. Josh Allen in the gun right now with James Cook providing bodyguard duties. Now but going to be going out for the receiving roles. Out, Diggs in yet again. Deja vu here on the football field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about the clock management situation. And of course, we've seen that Buffalo has had the discipline to throw balls away when necessary. So really, they're in the driver's seat. All the pressure is now on Kansas City now to really upset the apple cart with a couple of interceptions of their own.
James Cook getting a lot of space right there. Biggest rush, I believe, of this game so far. 12 on 27. Throw a touchdown in there for a little bit of flavor.
Okay. Got ourselves a situation. Let's see if we're going to play all the way in. I know last time we were on live, there were some premature endings to games. You saw some fans file out before the final whistle. Let's see if there's some resolve here from Kansas City and company. At least have it down to the 4th. 5 more minutes on the clock. We've seen people score a whole lot in a single quarter, but now it's their chance to do that right here.
And this was basically 2 defensive scores from Buffalo in the 2nd quarter as well. One actual defensive touchdown on the scoop and score from the punt play. One from the blocked punt that set up a James Cook rush 2 plays later, and one, of course, the offensive bomb to Shakir for Josh Allen and Neighbor. Just moving on down the field, marching to the tune of their own drum. Beat of their own drum.
Looked like Cook had that first down in hand, but decided to ask for some permission and got stopped for his troubles. 3rd and 1 this time around.
Cook gotta realize it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission on that one. They would have gotten an extra yard. Cook yet again, no reason to do anything differently with how Cook has been playing on the day.
Just been absolutely unplayable in times, but it did look like they had to figure them out. But as slippery as he is, it's still an option, still a threat there for Buffalo.
Rush plays, and rush plays. There really is not that much in the way of a threat of a fumble here when you have just absolute workhorse in the form of James Cook. That ball in hand. 2nd and 12 right now. No reason to do anything else but continue to run this ball. Maybe short plays just to mix things up.
Well, do you want to do that? Do you want to add this or run the score up? Okay, we're doing that. We're running the score up. Oh!
Dude, Caster's curse. I'm in shambles right now. James Cook, I'm just lauding, just pouring compliments and accolades on top of, and they're going to be happy. That fumble got to the outside line.
Oh, my goodness. 3rd and 2, 28-7 still. But, yeah, hopefully they didn't rattle them too much.
30 seconds run off, maybe going to be going down to the 2-minute warning right here. 4th and 6. Buffalo does not need to do anything but take the 3 points guaranteed.
Yeah, I get that. I'm totally with that. I'm not really sure how it's going through the mind there for Jordooo, knowing they're huge. Oh, they're going? Okay, fine. They're going for it.
Put this game on ice. Push it to 31.
Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it, at least. Not going to happen.
Oh. So you
I
can't
see.
throw a bullet pass through the upper rights for 3 points. I was like, what's going on here?
That would be an interesting facet of the game. You know what I'm saying? Anybody XFL, USFL, now the UFL, don't listen to this. Don't listen to this. But have like a smaller upright that you have to throw it in, like something that's like 5 yards wide or something like that.
A skills competition right in the middle of the game.
maybe for 2 points instead of three, just because it'd be easier. I don't know. I don't know. We're waxing philosophical here right now. I thought we were going to the 2-minute warning so we could set up the field goal, but James Cook takes a reception, one on the rush, one on the catch here, and neighbor Buffalo Bills go up a lot.
Yeah, this is the kind of scoreline I thought we were going to see in the first game, but maybe even the other way around. But yeah, it's 34-7 in a commanding, convincing lead. And there's one more on top. Probably the icing, cherry, whatever you want to call it. Buffalo is locked in.
4-score difference here. We're looking at a kickoff, 2 minutes to go. Don't want to call this game on ice before it is, but that seems to be the situation that we are inside of.
No, I'll do it. This game's nice. Yeah, I will cast or curse it because it looks pretty much that Buffalo's a stronger team, and they're the team with the lead. Once you have those two working for you, it will take a lot.
That's fair. 9.8 yards here per shotgun play on the format right there. Into the offensive playbook. The rush for Pacheco. Nobody saw it coming. Perhaps that is the best type of play inside. So clock's still going to run, barring a timeout. Not going to be called. Perhaps this is Jordooo saying what we're seeing.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit of good sportsmanship to understand that you're not going to, have some timeouts or any sort of strategy because it really comes down to opportunities, and it doesn't mean to stop the clock like that.
And Pacheco gets it again. That's his second rush for 4 yards, not incorporated within the rushing game whatsoever in the beginning part of this game, which I say, but Kansas City, I would love to see the lineup of offensive plays attempted between Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs on this one, because I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo was like doubling up on them right now.
I think that's about close. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't know what the numbers are, but it does feel like it's almost a 2-for-1 exchange. But hey, you know what? I don't mean to pile on. I do think there was some good about Kansas City today. I do think there were some good choices of some of the plays. I think they got really rattled in the shotgun position. That was kind of their undoing.
Speaking of, shotgun position attempted yet again here for Patrick Mahomes. 5 up front. And really have their work cut out for them when it comes to blocking. Packers and linemen doesn't get through, and there's another sack. Will we take it on into the end of this one? Seems like we might be. Offense just kind of hanging out right here. Letting this one to clock all the way down. We'll be looking at a 35-7 game here in the Rally Cry Collegiate Series.
Yeah, we saw ourselves a very good comprehensive victory. The first game wasn't really that efficient for Neighbor and company. I was wondering about the changing of the opponent, maybe that rather play, but if there was any kind of inkling of that, that was totally eradicated by game 2. Convincing win, and it was a convincing series there for Neighbor.
Much closer one, 17-10 for Neighbor in game number 1. Anything but here in game number 2, off the back of a handful. I can't even just call it the 2, a handful. A laundry list, a lion's share of really optimal defensive plays here.
A lion's share, I get it. Football team, love it. Either way, that is it. It is definitely a 2 straight up, and this is only our first series of the day, but I already felt like watching 2 Super Bowls back to back. Give or take an Usher performance. Neighbor with the dub.
Yeah, that's Post Malone doing the national anthem, I believe, as well. I'm gonna be very, very excited for it. It's gonna be an exciting time here in Las Vegas. Taking a look, breaking down this game a little bit more. I think the big differences here is the incorporation of star players, of your absolutely MVP superstar players here for both of these squads. Pacheco for Kansas City was snubbed, redheaded stepchild here in game number 2 all the way through. It wasn't until garbage time that he even got any rush attempts. Did get a couple of receptions. The Bills, on the other hand, they used their threats. They used your Stephon Diggs and whatnot, more so to pull coverage and stuff like that. This was Shakir that I believe that's the tight end number 88 that was getting pass plays, that was getting bombs, and that was bailing out Josh Allen whenever the pressure got insurmountable.
Yeah, I do think bailing out Josh Allen is an unspoken storyline here, but you really can't understate how Buffalo was able to shred the defense of Kansas City, especially in that second and third quarters, and I think that will be something you'll take on as the tournament rolls on. It really was a good, comprehensive win. Of course, some things can be tightened up. Of course, we can learn some things, but at the end of the day, that's how it's done. You build upon that for the next opponent.
And the question here, so given that Jordooo went from the Bills on over to Kansas City, the question remains like, would this game shaked out a little bit different if you had the identical teams playing against each other here? That is not a situation we'll be able to figure out. Now, the good news here for Jordooo, of course, is that there are more qualifiers, right? We're in qualifier 2 right now. There'll be 2 more qualifiers after these that Jordooo can still participate in, still go for a shot, not at just the prize pool, but of course for that ticket to the NFL draft in April.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably not much difference because if he was the Buffalo Bills, he'd probably use Travis Kelsey just about as much as he did today. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little salty. I mean, Travis Kelsey is one of the best in the game. What are we doing?
Yeah, I have to agree right here. You play a Kansas City game. Here's a prediction for you folks. If Travis Kelsey does not get incorporated in the same way did not get incorporated here today, this is going to be an unentertaining Super Bowl out there at Legion Stadium. 4 miles out the window that way. Yeah, Travis Kelsey is the best in the game. He is if I remember right, the stat was that it was the highest receiving yards since 2021 out of all. Right?
Yeah.
He's a tight end. He's a tight end. He's not a receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess it was kind of like a challenge to not use one of the best wide receivers in the game and in the sport, but you can tell it didn't work out for them. So
Yeah.
I understand you're tired of seeing his face on commercials and all that, but you got to use him in the game if you're playing this team.
That's fair. If we're talking commercial time per player, Travis Kelsey is just absolutely shellacking every other NFL player. You can see him on any commercial. If you buy products in America, you can get one that Travis Kelsey has done an advertisement for.
Absolutely.
We're gonna go get these two get a short little break. We're gonna get getting out figured out this next 2 players, the second best of 3 series here for the semifinals, grand finals, obviously after that one. Navanta and the RFBI Tugboat. We'll be back with you in just a little bit.
Our generation has a choice. Turn away from the world's problems or chase them down. We refuse to sit back and watch them pass us by. Watch us fly ahead. Rise to every challenge and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.